Let's go ahead and take a look at now division of integers. We're going to use the missing factor approach to kind of motivate our definition for integers. So a divided by b equals c, if and only if a is equal to b times c. And so that's the missing add-in approach. For example, what do I mean by that? And again, we're talking about integers here. And so what do I mean by that is 8 divided by 2 equals what? Is the same as saying 2 times what equals 8. And so I know that what has to be 4 there. Okay. Again, that what has to be 4. So therefore I know that 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So we're going to use that to drive our definition of integers. And so looking at these examples here, 12 divided by 3, negative 3 equals what? Well, you've already memorized these rules, some of you, right? Oh, and positive divided by negative is a negative. And that's true, but again, it gets motivated by our missing factor approach. That means negative 3 times what equals 12. For this to be a positive, then that factor has to be negative 4. Negative 5 times what equals negative 15? That has to be a 3. You already know a negative divided by negative. That's the rule. But again, it gets motivated through the missing factor approach. 2 times what equals negative 8? 2 times negative 4. And then you'll notice that it matches up to our kind of these rules on the bottom. Now, 7 divided by negative 2. 2 times what equals 7? And so what would that be? 2 times what equals 7? It turns out to be negative 7 over 2, right? When you think about it. But again, remember, this is not an integer, right? 7 over 2 is a fraction, not an integer, right? And so just make a note of that. That is not an integer, though, in that division problem. But it still can be solved that way, or thinking about it. It's not an integer, okay? And so then looking at that leads to these rules here. Dividing by 1, a divided by 1 equals a, because 1 times a equals a, right? 2 positives or both negative, your answer is positive. And now these come to the rules that you learn. 1 positive, 1 negative, your answer is negative. You divide the numbers and keep the negative. 0 divided by some number is 0. Remember, this is not division by 0. Keep that in mind. You cannot divide by a 0. Okay? You cannot divide a number by a 0. It's an undefined answer. And then we use this here to generate our the answers here using the rules. So again, make sure you take note of my notation as we do that there. Okay, and then that leads us to, well, let's stop there. We'll do another video.